Hey guys, Lou here from Jersey Shore Fabricators. Alright, well today we have ourselves a 98 Ranger. My 98 Ranger. And, well, I was driving back from the Poconos and brakes didn't feel right. I heard a little something funny going in the back of it. I just bought this truck last year. Honestly, it's just a beater truck. I put like zero maintenance into this. I think I put one oil change on it since September of last year. I put a new set of front brakes on it, some tie rods, but other than that, the truck just, goes until something breaks. So, heard some funny noises coming from the rear brakes last night. Let's take a look and see what we find. I already got the wheels knocked off of it. No point in you watching me do that. So let's see what we got. Okay, so this is the drum on the driver's side. Haven't had anything apart yet, so let's see if I can do this with one hand. Well, oh my. Well, we got all that business going on inside of there. We got all that missing there. And all these broken parts fell on the floor. Okay, well, guess what we're doing? Yeah, these shoes are pretty much past it. Alright, shoes, drums, give you a walkthrough on it. And after a successful trip to the parts store, here's what it's going to take to fix it. 2 sets of drums, new set of shoes, set of brake hardware, and then the other thing you got to remember is Ford uses this funny little system that uses a cable for the adjuster. And on our Ranger, we have the left and the right. Now, all of this has to get over onto the truck. So let me get you guys set up, show you how this goes together. Alright, so one of the first things I do is I'll get myself a little catch pan to put underneath the drum assembly. And then, no good brake job is complete without Eric O's over at South Main Auto, his favorite product in the world. I'm going to sort of clean down. All right. Now, a lot of people out there, they get squeamish around drum brakes, and rightfully so. It can be a little confusing, but the thing I tell people is take pictures. Take pictures, document everything. When you take things apart, leave them in the order they came apart. Now, we know the adjuster went down on the bottom there. I'm sorry, I got a really bad angle for you guys. Let's try that. So, like I was saying, when you take everything apart, try to keep it in order. Lay it out on the ground or a towel or whatever it is that you're using underneath you. And you should have no problems putting it back together. Especially here that we're using all new hardware, this should be a breeze. There's a couple little tricks, especially when doing Fords. For one, like I was talking about, they have this silly little cable that's here. And then 2, there's a clip right there. Right there, you got to take apart with a screwdriver to get the drum off the emergency brake lever. So, as I dive into this, I'll show you exactly what's going on. I can't do everything with one hand. So, you're just going to have to bear with me. Alright, so one of the tools you're going to be using is this here. This is a brake spring tool. And right here, there's a spring that's held in with a cap that goes on a pin that comes to the back of the backing pad here. So, get your finger on the pin, put this on here, compress it, and if yours isn't as rusted as mine, it should turn about half a turn, and then pop off, just like that. The other special tool you may want is this brake tool. Okay, so we got a couple of hooks. We got this little squiggle thing on the end, and then we have this. This is the end we want right now, because this is going to help us get these springs off of here, so we can get the primary and the secondary shoe off. And pay attention before you take everything apart, because you'll see that you have a large brake spring, a large brake pad, and a small brake pad. Whichever way it comes off, that's the way you put it together. In our case, the primary, the big one, is on the back. And the way this tool works is it goes right over this pin here. You catch the spring, give it a twist, and hopefully she comes off without killing you. Or me. Almost there. Sometimes they're going to fight you. And there you are. So we have this spring, which is green. Want to keep this on this side. Keep that shoe on that side. You have your equalizer bar. I believe that's what it's called. And same thing. Pay attention, this spring, which end it goes on. Okay, because you see you have a groove, and these two grooves are two different sizes. And it makes a difference. Now, we'll get this one off of here. Swing and a miss. There we go. Okay, now, where this spring goes together, let's see if you guys could see that. Where this spring goes together, there's also a little track here. And that track is for the cable. Alright, so once you get everything stripped out, it's just a bunch of springs. It's actually really self-explanatory. Once you get everything stripped out, you're left with the backing plate, you're left with your wheel cylinder, and you're left with your emergency brake adjuster cable here, or emergency brake lever here. So now, clean it all out. Okay, so if you remember what I said earlier about keeping everything separated, so here was the front shoe, here's the rear shoe. We still have this on here. We still have this spring for the adjuster. We have this spring that goes in between here for the adjuster. And then we have our new hardware kits here. So, again, because I don't have a tripod, let me start assembling this, and as I go, I'll stop and show you exactly what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, the other thing is that while you got these on the ground here, make sure when you check your new shoes, you got the right ones, and that they're doing everything they're supposed to. Like if you see here, this has a pin on it. Well, the other shoe that you have should have a pin on it. And more importantly, it should be in the right place. Like that. Okay, so new shoe with the pin, old shoe with the pin. Put that right on top of there. The other shoe without the pin is going to go right over there. Just like that. Okay. Now let me start assembling these. Okay, so we're starting to get everything assembled. Here's our spring that went around, went between where the adjuster goes. We have our self-adjusting pole here. We have this spring with the cable track. Now the cable, I'll show you how that goes on. It's not anything really difficult, but just something you want to pay attention to. It's one of the last things to go on. And the other thing you want to do before you start putting the brakes on is you'll see where these wear marks are. That's where the brake shoes actually ride on it, so you want to throw a little grease on there. and then also on your adjuster here, so that never gets seized up. Okay, so that cable I was talking about, you have a hook right here. You have a hook right there. You know, hook these two guys together. The cable is going to come up into this cable track. Of course, I just had it on there. And I'm trying to do this with one hand. That ain't going to go. But she will. But you guys get the idea. You might have to take out the spring here to get room to move the cable track out of the way. Okay, so now we got everything put back together. So, primary spring, you got your cable, goes through the cable, oh boy, goes through the cable track, got your spring, goes on after that. Down here we got the adjuster, so you test it out simply by turning it with your fingers, like that. It can only go one way. Whole new hardware in there, everything's greased up. Give it one last douche of brake cleaner. I know you got your greasy mix all over it. I know I did. Put your drum on, and that's it. So, I'm not going to lie to you. This isn't a simple 1, 2, 3 job. This isn't, you know, hey, just do X, Y, and Z, and then it goes back together. There's a little bit of struggling involved, even with the right tools. Trying to get all the pins, you know, trying to get both pins lined up. But take your time. Leave the other side together until you get this side together. So you always have one to reference off the other. And if you've never done this before, you can get through this. It's not that bad. Everything in here is under spring pressure. Everything in here is trying to kill you. So just be careful with that. I've seen guys take this off, and I used to do it, take these springs off, take these springs off, with just a screwdriver and a pair of vice grips. Same thing with putting them on. So, yeah, if you're going to do this, go out there, have fun, be careful, use safety, jack stands, all that fun stuff, and enjoy your new brakes. Alright, so now last thing you're going to do is you're going to adjust the brakes. What that means is that you got that little star wheel down here, and you want to do it until you could hear some drag on the brakes. And this one, we can't hear anything. So, when we come around the back, we look inside, there's our little star adjuster. Now you can use, a screwdriver, or if you have the proper tool, a brake spoon. And basically, you're going to get in there, and this is only going to turn one way. That's why you had all those springs on the bottom and that cable to hold the adjuster. We're going to start cranking this guy down. Occasionally, I see here we're just starting to hear the brake material on the drum. I usually go a little more than that, because one thing I hate doing is drum brakes. I hate adjusting them. I hate working on them. It's not fun, especially when you're doing it all on your back. A bit more to go. And for the keen-eyed, yes, that's my emergency brake cable. The other side looks just the same. One day, if I decide to keep this, I may actually replace them. In case I get a job where I have to get out of the truck a lot, like, I don't know, newspaper delivery or something. Well, it's feeling pretty good. See, a brake spoon, it looks like a screwdriver but it has a bend in it. and allows you to get deep into here and do this. Mine's been missing for about 4 years, and every time I order tools, I forget to get one, because I don't work on drum brakes that much anymore. Okay, that feels pretty good. And then last but not least, don't forget your little rubber dicky. I don't know what caused my brake components to fall out on the highway, but I suppose it doesn't matter, because now the job is done. So all it's left to do is throw the wheels back on it, get it outside, and then, oh yeah, we're gonna bring that guy in right there. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. I'm gonna get this thing back on the ground, get it outside, put it back to work. The thing to remember when doing drum brakes, like I said, it's a lot of springs, there's a lot of stuff in there that can hurt you. Wear safety goggles, plenty of brake cleaner, a little bit of brake grease. Take your time. Pay attention to where those springs go. Take pictures before you take it apart. That way you go back and reference, and do one job at one side at a time. That way, if you do forget, you can go back and look at the other side. Mortal men have been doing this since, I don't know, late 1800s, early 1900s. Here we are in 2018. Look, if they could do it, you could do it. Go out there, have fun, fix something, be careful. Until we see you next time, peace.